Hey, this is Vince Coakley, and you're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast.
On this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, a woman has the time of her life at a local Waffle House. We have a heated debate over Doughnuts, and we're catching up with Jeremy Congdon. All that and more on this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's two guys' take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting from the Busted Nuckle studio right here in beautiful downtown historic Concord, North Carolina. I'll be your host, Biggin, and how about you? We've got a great show lined up for you, as always. But before we begin, let me introduce you to the second half of this flaky biscuit. He's the pride of Anderson, South Carolina, but most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue won 2016's Honorable Mention El Chapo Impersonator of the Year, the inventor of the Redneck Cake Roll. Give it up on old mic number one. It's Mojo!
Hey, appreciate you tuning in as you always do every week. Please go to our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. You can go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. You can find our playable links there. They are suitable for work for most of the time until I become unleashed or unhinged. It depends on your opinion there.
Here's looking at you, 2020.
Go to our Twitters and Instagram, SFP Radio. You can also check us out on the old iTunes or Apple Podcasts. I don't know. I call it iTunes, but you go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, iHeart, Pocket Cast, pretty much any place that plays a podcast.
We're there.
Yeah, just check it out. Go to our page, Southern Fried Philosophy. Give us a like, a subscribe, a review, a heart, a thumbs up, stupid face app emoji, whatever you want to put on there. And just do that so you can track us down. You get our weekly uploads on Monday of our podcast. Check us out there. But most importantly, write that review. That's especially Apple Podcasts. That's how they do their old algorithm trickery, as far as I know. That's what I've been told by my technical friends. Yeah, that's what I've been told. Is that's how you move up. So we appreciate the guys doing that, and appreciate our Patreon subscribers. You can find us there on patreon.com/SFP Radio.
Yeah, again, appreciate them. Without you guys, it would not be possible to do the show. We are getting so close, and we appreciate your help on that. Hey, if you want to hang out with us here in the Busted Knuckle studio, just send us an email at sfpradio@gmail.com, and you yourself could be in the beautiful Bad Mother Smokers smoking hot seats. We'd love to have you hang out with us. In studio with us, we have Brian, Mr. Wizard Childers, editing the show. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey, guys.
Great job.
Glad to be here. Oh.
Great job. So our editing skills have increased exponentially.
Right, because of Brian. And I can't tell you from the bottom of my heart, really, and I'm not just trying to tickle your heartstrings. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. I love doing it.
Just also some business. We talked last show about the Jared Lorenzen Memorial Fund. Kentucky Sports Radio started to do that and got that out there. We asked you guys to also help, and we did a very minuscule movement on that. But to give you guys an update, there was a total raised of $82,000 within a week's time to help pay for the
original goal was 20.
The original goal, Matt said, was that he wanted to shoot for $50,000, but
blew it out of the water.
$82,000. That's going to go to help his kids for a college fund. So, man, what
that's
an awesome experience. And that's just now. So there'll be more coming.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky Wildcats still suck, but that's great for the fans to get behind it. So
sure. We want to say shouts out to our new listeners from Gillis, Georgia, Irvine, Scotland, and we've noticed our numbers here in Concord, North Carolina going up. So appreciate you guys.
Well, I guess that spray can is coming in handy when I'm just putting SFP Radio on everybody's cars with the graffiti paint.
Yeah, I need to talk to you about those lawsuits because we're going to need a lawyer.
They have no proof.
Also in studio with us is Jeremy Congdon. He is back from whatever state that he's at now because that keeps moving. I'm just kidding. From Michigan?
Cleveland.
Oh,
Ohio.
that's close enough.
Keeping Cleveland weird.
Same thing.
Pretty darn close.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good team back together.
I'm just going to let you know, you are the first person that I know that actually has moved to Cleveland. Usually it's people moving from Cleveland south. So you have just blew my mind.
How about you? Yeah. Well, we're going to talk to him a little bit later and catch up with him. So I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week, Mojo, I be darn.
I'm ready to be complaining about how cold it is.
You said that last time. It is balls hot. Can I say that?
I am starting to actually consider Al Gore's theory that we may be melting, that the world may end in 2012. I'm actually considering that.
I'm wondering if we could just put a bunch of ice in, those really good igloo,
Yetis.
Yeti coolers, and we just leave them out there and then open them up all at the same time. See if that'll cool it all off.
The polar bears are going. It's hot. It's hot as the dickens out here.
I'm glad you finished that statement. Well, so you're complaining about the heat again,
dude. You know what? I don't have it nearly as bad as our resident plumber Kurt,
right?
Because
sure.
he has to work outside all the time,
imagine.
and my heart goes out to the guys. Charlotte area has been under construction since 1903, I think. Mm-hmm. So they're still doing the roads around here. So I feel really bad for the guys out there laying blacktop and pouring concrete for the road construction. Man, that has got to be just intense. I mean, I barely have to go outside, but when I do, it's for a period of time and it's hot as hell. But I mean, I couldn't imagine working 6-8 hours out there pouring concrete and blacktop. That's or being on a roof. Roofers, man, these guys have it just. It's got to be painful. So I'm just ready. I'm ready. Like I said, I'm ready for fall.
So what's funny is if you go back and listen to our episodes when it started to turn a little bit warm, the thing that burned his biscuits was the fact that everybody's complaining about how hot it is already. And then for the past 6 episodes, he's complaining about how hot it is.
Because it's hot.
It's finally hot, right?
It's not.
It's actually hot. It's not the fake spring hot.
Yeah, I can handle like 90, 95, but when the heat index is like, solar flares, I mean, it's spicy out there.
Yeah. Goodness.
I mean, I'm having to duct tape deodorant sticks to underneath my arms to keep, adjusting the knobs as the sweat pours down. So, it's hot out there.
It's officially hot when Biggin goes for the gold bond and he's run out of like a can in a week. It's like, okay, now this is enough.
It's like trying to whip cream a bunch of dessert rolls. I got you. That's gross.
That's gross.
Oh, that's gross.
But accurate. I give you that. All right. Hey, this week you asked me how I've been doing. Today we went to go see Vince Coakley at the
he was our
100th
100th episode guest.
Yeah.
So that was a good time. We got to see him do his magic behind the counter there at the radio station WBT here in Charlotte.
It is a dream of mine to walk down the aisle and just sit in the studio and be like, here we go. Every day, just doing the show.
Full time.
That'd be awesome.
Instead of part time.
One of these days.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/SFP radio.
Hit that Patreon link.
There you go.
For $20,000 a month, you get.
I will kiss you in the mouth, or on the mouth, whichever one you prefer. I don't even care. All right, so let's go to some wacky news brought to you by Webmerized. If you need a clean, crisp website, go check out our friends at Webmerized.com. That's Webmerized.com. Gentlemen, who doesn't want to have a good time? Let me throw that out there. Logan County man allegedly driving a stolen vehicle. It was filled with uranium, a rattlesnake, and Kentucky Deluxe bourbon. 2 people were arrested after a traffic stop of a stolen car revealed that he had the rattlesnake, radioactive uranium, and an open bottle of Kentucky Deluxe. He was charged with possession of a stolen vehicle. Check, I got that. Transporting an open container of liquor. Okay. Operating a vehicle with a suspended license. Failure to carry security verification. But there was no mention of him being arrested for the radioactive uranium. They can't find a charge yet, so they're waiting to figure out what they could charge him with. What are you doing with a rattlesnake, a bottle of bourbon, and uranium? Like, at what point do you think, hey, guys, what would be make tonight fun?
Darlene, grab the Kentucky Deluxe, the rattlesnake, and the bottle of uranium. We're gonna paint the town red.
Oh my gosh! I knew the guy wasn't in his right mind when he picked up the Kentucky Deluxe.
I mean, hey, $20 for a liter, and it's a blended whiskey. It's not even a true bourbon.
Right.
It's a blended whiskey from the state of Kentucky or somewhere.
I'm surprised you didn't change that name. Tennessee Deluxe, something. just not to get Kentucky bad in the news.
Well, yeah, that's how we roll.
Where do you get uranium?
That's what I want to know.
This sounds like Back to the Future 4 or something. Like they're making a remake or a bad sequel or something.
That's genius.
Honestly, I'm kind of curious where you get uranium.
And what
I mean, do you
gonna
like enrich it in your own like apartment or trailer or meth lab? I mean,
You think they're like, hey guys, we're gonna kick up our meth game up a ton right now. We're
Yeah.
kicking this thing to the moon.
yeah.
Let's use some enriched uranium.
I'm thinking Darlene and Kyle were probably on something else besides the booze. I mean, that's a mini party in a car.
Sure.
But it takes a certain special drug of choice to put those three together.
What's the missing ingredient? If you could add one more thing to the list, what would you add?
A midget clown.
I think you have to say little person, but it's okay.
Dwarf. I know a guy who midget wrestles, and he claims he's a midget wrestler. He doesn't like little people. He thinks it's very demeaning when they call him little people.
Well, I could see that way too.
So he prefers to be called a midget.
Wow.
So you need a midget.
Okay.
Midget clown.
A midget clown.
Yeah.
Producer Brian, any thoughts?
I don't know how you follow up on the midget clown thing, but
That's true.
If they would have had a micro, like a cigarette lighter microwave with a box of hot pockets, I think that would have been pretty cool
I was
too.
thinking like swimming pool full of Jello, like kiddie pool with
Oh,
Jello in
yeah.
it. Would be the next.
That's the next obvious go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to know if we're talking happy clown or sad clown.
Oh, that's a good question.
or like crazy Halloween clown.
Oh, you know how I feel about those things.
They all float down here.
God bless a bear. Any other thoughts? Any thoughts from you?
No, that's insane.
I would like to see a camel. Just, walking by the car.
With him going, hey Fred, what time it is? It's hump day.
Cardis, do you have any thoughts that you want to?
No, I love the camel bit. Though.
Yeah. Well, on a good Tuesday night in Kentucky, you can maybe find all those things in the car.
Do you think the cop recognized that it was uranium when they found it? Is there a label?
Oh, yeah.
He thought it was a
True.
Pepsi truck or something, probably.
Well, after his
Yeah.
skin turned translucent and he started bleeding from all orifices, they said, "Oh,
So,
this is probably uranium."
yeah, Cardis's question is, how did they find out that it was uranium? And that's a great question.
The briefcase attached to his wrist with handcuffs probably gave it away.
Actually, let's hope so. I'm hoping it's not like a Chernobyl event where these cops rushed in and all of a sudden they're now in a secret ICU unit that their skin's translucent. Have you seen that?
no.
Have you seen that show yet, Chernobyl?
No.
You gotta watch it.
Is that a Netflix special?
HBO miniseries,
Okay.
Chernobyl. Yep.
All right. So that's not on Netflix.
No, it's not on Netflix. It's
have
on, but you can illegally pirate it. So
Which, all good people do.
Yeah.
Do you know it takes a customer 3 seconds to decide whether to stay or leave your website? That's why a crisp, clean, and user-friendly website is one of the best ways to market and help and grow your business. At Webmerized Web Design, we offer that and much more. They pride themselves in offering their clients professional websites at affordable prices. Are you a small business? No problem. We can cater to small businesses by working with their clients every step of the way to meet their needs and expectations. Their number one goal is to partner with their clients to help and grow their business with a successful website. They work for every client, no matter the size. So, if you'd like a great website, go to webmerized.com, webmerized.com, or you could check out their link on the sponsors link of our website. If you mention the word Biggin, you'll get 10% off your website design order. Again, webmerized.com. Check them out. Just when you thought Waffle House couldn't get more weird, there was a female, and the article only refers to her by her last name, Nicholson. She did not have a good Tuesday night the other day. She went, quote, per the article, bat crap crazy. And she started walking around preaching to customers, which it's going to be good when you start getting the old Jesus said, Jesus walks, preaching coming at you at a Waffle House. She followed customers outside and inside the restaurant. People told her to leave her alone. One woman in particular, then she punched her in the nose, the chest, and twice on her arm. Then she allegedly threw a plate at the woman, striking not the woman, but the giant glass window right behind her and shattered that. Then another man tried to leave, and she gave him a big bear hug and would not let him leave. And then when the police arrived, we don't know when this happened, but she evidently got naked and would not let a man out of the booth. She was on her knees, not doing what you think. She was just making him stay in the booth. The officers tased her twice, and a struggle ensued, and they finally arrested her. But
sounds like she had some uranium in her car too.
They did find uranium, a rattlesnake, and a camel.
Was that uranium or her Uranus?
Have you guys? We've been to experiences at a Waffle House.
Oh, I love Waffle.
Oh, yeah.
I just ate there the other day.
Any weird experiences that you've?
Yeah, I saw a car. We saw a car drive off a cliff, like a ledge at a Waffle House.
We did see that, didn't we?
We did see a car drive off a ledge at a Waffle House.
We did see that. I forgot about that one. There were things involved.
No really weird experiences, but the people of Walmart. This is where the people of Walmart come to eat at a certain time of night,
right?
And I'm including that bunch because I love Waffle House. I eat at Waffle House in multiple states, multiple cities, so I love Waffle House. So just, if you need a hot meal, if you need a hot meal by some young lady that you're not going to be tempted by, go to Waffle House.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know
You
about
just want
that.
a hot meal after 11 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
What else is open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And personally, I'd rather eat at Waffle House than McCrapples.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you. I mean, because I know my stomach's not going to be tore up in 3 minutes.
Well,
It takes at least 30.
Yeah, I ate by. I shouldn't say I ate with, but I ate by Hootie and the Blowfish.
wait, what?
Yeah, back in the early '90s, I stopped at Waffle House and they just had come off the road and.
Is this in South Carolina? I would imagine.
Yeah. Actually, no, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh,
This is right before their number one selling album, Crack Review, hit the numbers. Or hit really the major national playlist because back then you had like radio stations, not Spotify. And they were in a Waffle House in Chattanooga. They just had played a club called the Sandlot in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which I happened to be there. I paid a whole $6 to see their show.
$6.
$6.
Wow.
And they went to a Waffle House afterwards. So it's pretty cool.
There you go. Any plans for September 20th at 3 a.m.? Anybody?
Waffle House?
Well,
Rattlesnakes and uranium?
yeah. If you're part of the 1.5 million people that are going to be attending the Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop Us All event.
It's up to 1.5.
1.5 million people.
Did I send you this? I don't remember. I saw it somewhere. Did I forward this to you?
I think so.
I didn't read the whole article.
I just pulled up a new
The
one.
headline's the interesting part.
They're wanting to storm Area 51 to, quote, find them aliens.
Get them aliens.
1.5 million people are going to storm it. They can't kill us all. Then they're going to rip open Area 51 and go for it.
They can kill some of you.
They'll get some of you. Right.
I'm
mean,
saying
Area-
majority, but
I mean, Area 51's a red herring, right? We all think that? No? No one? The aliens are really at Fort Knox?
well,
No, I don't believe that.
I feel like there should be a sound clip here somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the X-Files coming.
We know there's no gold at Fort Knox. So
that's right.
So I think
right.
the alien
Bitcoin,
spaceship
right?
is at Fort Knox.
There it is.
But yeah, if you say on September 20th we're going to come for those aliens, I would think on September 19th you may want to get the aliens and move them to, I don't know, Red Hill, California. I don't know.
Local Waffle House, they'd probably blend right in.
You're right. Probably will.
This was started. If I'm correct, man, I think this was started as a hoax by Reddit or 4chan, or a troll on one of those channels, and of course it pops over to the mainstream. And I'm pretty sure the troll has spoke up too, as far as this event, saying this is nothing but a parody. And I'm sure probably 90% of the people that have signed up to this, cause know it's a parody. But there's that special precious few that are bordering on winning their own personal Darwin Award that will probably show up.
Oh yeah. The question is, how many people do you think are actually going to show up to this event?
1% of 1.5. That's still a chunk.
That's still a chunk. Yeah. I think, and this is just my theory, I think Ja Rule is behind it to redo the Fire Festival. This is our Fire Festival reboot.
At least this one isn't costing tens of thousands of dollars to attend.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
No, yeah.
And I would like to just go and be the guy that's sitting up on the hill and watch
Kind of like
this whole
how,
thing go
it's
down.
kind of how people used to do when they'd go out and view wars back, like Civil War,
Right.
1812. That people would, take picnic baskets out there
Lawn
and make
chair
a
and your lemonade.
make
All
a
right,
family
kids,
day
let's
of it.
go see the
Yeah.
war.
Yeah.
You've seen Independence Day, the scene where like all the RVs are driving
Yeah.
towards Area 51.
Yeah.
Like, that's like that's what I'm imagining here. Just
That's
Randy Quaid times 100.
Up yours.
Buy yourself something real nice, Clark. Real nice. But that's the thing. Their plan is to run. Why don't you just drive into it? Like, nobody's mentioning just get in your car and just run right into it. Everybody's gonna run. That's stupid.
I'll be anxious to see how many people actually show up to this. There's going to be a few.
Yeah,
It
I
won't be hot at 3 a.m. though, so it's like in the desert. It'll be cold, so maybe you can go a little longer.
Maybe we
Maybe
should get Dennis from Bad Mother Smokers to set up a food tent out there. that would be
would
some
be fantastic.
major money there.
All right, so let's go to some hot topics brought to you by Watchman Cigars. If you want a fantastic cigar at a reasonable price, check out our friends at Watchman Cigar. Speaking of hot, here in Concord, my friend, Krispy Kreme is going to open up a new store
Dude,
on 723.
I'm telling you, Krispy Kreme is life. I mean, that's a cliche phrase, but man, I love Krispy Kreme donuts. Nothing like a hot now donut. Right when fresh out the kitchen, a little glaze on it.
You cannot reference any R. Kelly, please.
We can separate a great line from a song from the man itself.
I
Trust me,
understand.
we do that every day with so many people. But no, man, Krispy Kreme is.
Ooh.
I can't. How many years I've been waiting since we moved here to have a Krispy Kreme here.
Yeah.
So this is
least
awesome time.
it's a lot closer.
Unfortunately, all the other pricks will be in line to eat there too.
Ouch.
So yeah. So I mean, I won't be able to go get my donut fix for probably a couple weeks.
Yeah, give it a couple of weeks, so the craze will go down. But what about you guys?
I mean, Krispy Kreme is really good. Don't get me wrong.
Don't
Don't
rain
do
on
it.
my, don't crap
do
on my
it.
parade here.
Don't do it. Don't say
Have you
it.
never had a Harris Teeter donut?
What?
I'm just saying.
All right, please tune in next week.
We're gonna shut this thing down.
I bought a dozen today and took them into work because they're amazing.
They're like a geometrical shape. They're like an
They're
they're like an
light
they're like
and
an
airy.
octagon
Yeah,
with
they're
a
like, who
circle in
wants
them.
that?
And there's an 1/8 inch of frosting on top. It's so good.
Did you microwave them or something
No.
first?
What
Like
did
a
you
You
do?
don't
fake
need
hot
to.
now?
You don't need
It's
to.
just-
They're so good.
I think what he did was he bought the Harris Teeter ones, had a bite, threw them out, then went to go get the Krispy Kremes,
Yeah,
put
so-
those in the box, and said, "There you go, Merry
The
Christmas."
question is, how long have you been in Cleveland that you forgot how good?
It's the
doubt.
first thing I got back when I got back to Concord. It's the first thing I did.
A Harris
Went out.
Teeter donut.
Yeah.
A Harris Teeter donut.
Literally, we got here like at night on the 3rd. The morning of the 4th, I went out and got a donut.
That
What you did on the 5th at Harris Teeter?
that is gross. Like I can't even.
Now hold on.
Don't get the Harris Teeter donuts late at night.
Yeah.
We went last night to Harris Teeter, and I was gonna get a donut because I was talking about how good they were, and I went to get it, and it was hard, and so I just left it. But I
Yeah.
touched it, and it was hard.
Speaking of hard,
That'll clip.
donuts are like sex. There's there's really not a bad one out there. I mean,
That's very
some of them
true.
you like more than others. So
Sure.
I mean, I can see his point with Harris Teeter donut. I could not put that in a class above Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kremes are great.
Now this is a strange one that I'll throw out at you. The QT donut. I don't know if has anybody
I have
had
not
the
had a
QT
QT
donut.
Had a
donut.
QT donut, yeah.
What do you think about the QT
They're
donut?
fine. They're
I think
they're good donuts, yeah.
They're decent.
QT does a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a advocate for QT.
That's a big word right there. I just say I like it.
I mean, if I had a choice, like if a QT and a Krispy Kreme were side by side,
Oh, there's no doubt.
Sure.
But I've
Or a
had
Harris Teeter.
I'm telling you, Harris Teeter's donuts are delicious.
So
you
next-
can eat like 5 Krispy Kreme donuts, which is great, and kind of the reason you do it. You eat one Harris Teeter donut, you're good.
The thing about them, they're too yeasty.
See,
they're
yeah.
way too big.
That's what I like.
And I don't like that. The Krispy Kreme, they're so dense. You can put all 5 of them in your mouth at one time because it's cotton candy.
And it's just cotton candy, yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
you guys are amateurs.
There's
I think
only
they're-
one way to settle this. You guys know.
Oh yeah.
We should have brought some in.
It's gonna happen.
We should have brought
You
some.
guys
Food
are-
Lion did not
you
have
guys
good
are
donuts, though. That's where we stopped.
No, Food Line is horrible.
Now, are you going just the glaze?
No. Chocolate. 1/8 inch of chocolate ice cream. I'm telling you. There's a thick layer of chocolate icing on it.
Apples and oranges.
I think you might be right. I think it might be
if you had to go
Chicago
straight,
deep dish in New York style.
If you had to go straight original glazed, you'd still do Harris Teeter?
No.
Okay.
Krispy Kreme.
Okay.
Straight
All right.
glazed.
So
All right,
there we
yeah,
go.
well, yeah,
All right. We got to clarify here.
Yeah.
The chocolate and the dough makes sense. I can see that playing nice
Yep.
together.
Yeah, no, I give you that.
All right.
'Cause that-
I think you're right though. I think it is Chicago deep dish in New York style.
Oh yeah.
I think it's two different types of donuts.
See, I can do a dozen Krispy Kreme. I hate myself, but I can't eat one. I mean, hot off the line, I can eat a dozen by myself.
They're so good.
Let's keep in mind, nobody will eat a Krispy Kreme donut, and by the time they go halfway around the building, say, this was a wise choice that I just made.
Well, that's because they only ate one.
Just because your Fitbit is like beating 30 times a second.
I've never eaten one Krispy Kreme donut.
Well, I'm just saying, by the time you eat the
It's
one,
like
you're
it's
well,
like a
this wasn't
Lay's
good.
potato chip bag. You just don't eat one chip like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean,
You eat 1 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts.
I'll never forget. We were at this wedding in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Now, Spartanburg, South Carolina has one of the oldest Krispy Kreme franchisees there, and the wedding was there. We had some food, wedding food. And it's all right. Danced a little bit, drank a little bit, and I'm like, I'm starving, and I had my custom tailored suit from the House of Lamond, and I've been dieting to get in this suit, and after the wedding, I was like, screw this, we're here, the old Krispy Kreme. My wife's, what do you want? I'm like, I'm getting a dozen glazed. All right, I'm getting a dozen glazed.
Right. What are you getting?
Yeah. What do you want?
Sorry, where'd you say you got the suit from?
House of Lamond.
All right, just making sure. You can get a dozen just for yourself.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Like, what are you gonna get?
I feel a little dirty afterwards, but it's that kind of good dirty, like like Kobayashi, chestnut. Like I just
what I
ate
just did.
73 hot dogs.
Yeah.
But I eat 73 hot dogs, so I mean it's kind of a good thing.
Is there any other donut at Krispy Kreme that you're just like, this is the jam?
Okay. Have you had a lemon hot now?
No, I want to try one.
Yes,
though.
I was at Fort Mill. I was driving to work for something, and I was like, I'm going to stop over here. Oh, I see the sign, Krispy Kreme. I drive in, and I see, the things going. I just saw lemon donuts in the case. I said, okay, give me half a dozen. He goes, oh, you want the ones off the conveyor over here? I went, what?
Excuse me, what?
What? Yeah, so,
lemon.
yeah, I only got half dozen, but...
I bet you regretted that purchase.
Not,
should have
job
got
on
a
well, I
dozen.
should have got more. 6 was pretty good. He got me to Charleston. It was,
You guys are amateurs, I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Is the hot sign not the greatest thing ever, though?
Oh yeah,
Why do other places not have that?
because everything is just in a bin in the back that's cold.
I want Panda Express to have the hot sign. When that hot orange chicken comes up,
Yeah, buddy, I'll give you that.
when is
time.
that? Is it ever hot? That's...
sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you stand there and wait and just watch everyone come
No.
in.
It's a unicorn.
Wait till you go, hey, orange chicken, and you get in line,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Is that it?
Here's the
Okay.
amateur. This is what you need. You keep going back for the free samples until they run out.
There you go.
I need another one. I need another one.
And then you get a hot one.
And then
That
you,
never worked at the mall. The mall Asian spots. They would stand out there. You could eat enough samples to be full,
Bourbon
and it'd
chicken.
still
the
have a.
bourbon chicken at the mall.
It's not even a real thing, I don't
Oh,
think.
it's
but
not. I looked it up. And I was like,
There's
good
a
gracious.
secret cabal of bourbon barrel makers and distillers over in Jikong, China.
They're literally putting all their chicken in a bourbon barrel. That's what they're doing.
Did this come from a Kentucky mall originally? Is that why?
Colonel Sanders' secret mission group over there. Yeah,
Got to have more hot signs.
Yeah,
I
so
agree.
you're-
I
yeah.
agree.
What is something that you would say? You said Panda Express.
Panda
Is there
Express for sure.
anything else that you say hot sign for sure? I mean,
That's not podcast acceptable.
I
but
mean, besides the Harris Teeter donut
Maybe
there.
like some fries or something, because you get
Oh,
the cold
yeah.
fries.
Yeah.
Any fast food joint.
Oh,
Pick
yeah.
your, doesn't matter, Bojangles maybe. You want the fresh fries and
It's
not
such good marketing, though.
20 minutes.
It
or so.
is.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Because
Hot fries now.
Yeah.
let me ask this: do you go to a Krispy Kreme when that hot sign's not on?
I have, but it's usually an act of desperation, like because we
need
didn't
a
have
fix.
one in our area.
Uh-huh.
So when I would travel to an area that had Krispy Kreme, I would still get them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of times they can actually make them hot for you. They have a little hot box oven thing that they can throw them in for like 15 seconds that actually makes them hot. So
Called a microwave. I got you.
I don't think they can fit a whole box in a microwave. They had something. It's like some type of apparatus they have because this young lady actually did that one time. I was like, man, that's a game changer. But you can buy the stale fundraiser donuts. You get
Why?
But you put it in the
Why?
microwave for 12 seconds, and bam, it's a little bit of reconstitution.
Here's my problem with buying the hot donuts. the time that it takes for them to get it on the stick, put it in the box, charge me for them, they're already getting cold. So I've solved this by just paying for it and then just saying, I just need you to shoot them straight
Jump
into
the
my
counter?
mouth. Yeah.
that was
Straight
Throw
from
them
the stick, right in
from
your
the
mouth.
stick to the mouth.
Now they just, in honor of the Apollo mission, the moon landing, they just came out with a Nutella-filled original glazed. I'm interested in that one, but our Concord location has not opened yet.
So
I haven't had any of the filled ones yet. Like they do the cream
I'm a
filling
purist.
or the
I'm-
chocolate filling.
yeah,
I'd
I'm
like
a
to try
purist.
one, but I like to experiment. I like to
Yeah.
try new things. I like one of them.
my go-to will be the manager special at Dunkin' Donuts, where it's the white cream filled. I ain't playing with the Boston cream. To me, that's nasty.
So I can't eat Dunkin'
Can't do
Donuts. Now their coffee drinks I like.
I'm just saying for a donut, like that's the one
I
I'm
would
gonna
rather go to Harris Teeter.
Dunkin's trying to be Krispy Kreme. Like their donuts
Sure.
are the same style, and they're terrible.
But see, actually, I think Dunkin's trying to be Harris Teeter.
I'll give you that.
Actually, I don't
Have
know.
you ever
They tried
seen
that.
a donut commercial for Dunkin' Donuts? They're always pushing.
Well, they're not Dunkin' Donuts anymore,
sandwiches,
right?
just
They're just
Dunkin'.
Dunkin'.
Just
Yeah,
Dunkin',
like
yeah.
the donuts aren't even a.
You're right. They're doing
They don't
the
even
same
care about the
sandwiches
donuts
and that kind of stuff.
They want you
don't
to
care.
buy the $12 breakfast sandwich.
Yeah,
Or the $5 coffee they've got 15 cents in it.
yeah.
Yeah, with a half a cup of sugar in it.
But I do like the white cream. Now that will be the one that I'll go to, and I also like an old fashioned. I'm a big fan of the old fashioned. Now when we were in Chicago, they had a pocket donut, which they didn't have the hole in it. It was just like a pocket, and they shoved a thing in it and filled it with Nutella.
Sounds painful.
It was not me, the donut.
Yeah, yeah, I got
and they filled it with Nutella, and that was okay.
bad.
It's not like I wanted it to be. It was like, it's all right.
Man, I would love to hear from the listeners their favorite donut places.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I mean,
That'd be a good
for
question.
us, I mean, you just don't have like the local donut makers anymore. You
Like
know?
downtown donuts.
Well, besides downtown, I'm saying like
Yeah.
you think other cities. You know, back in the day, you had like a coffee shop donut place, and they would have they specialize that. I mean, that's kind of gone by the wayside. What downtown donuts is doing here in Concord is they're trying to rejuvenate that kind of old feel again. Places like Houston has Shipley's and
Right.
other, but you just don't see that a lot. You have Dunkin' or some other like national.
What's up north? There's another
there's a
one.
Friendly's has
Yeah.
Tim Horton.
Tim
Tim
Horton.
Horton. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking of. Yeah.
And you have Bucky's,
Oh,
QT. I mean, these are the places that kind of substitute now for the local donut shop.
Yeah.
So, I'd be interested. And also, I'd be kind of curious on the grocery store ratings, how high Harris Teeter ranks on the donut rankings. Because that's like a subset of donut making.
Yeah.
It's the grocery stores.
Yeah.
Now, Harris Teeter doesn't make a mean sub.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Which is
remember we would
ironic.
always go to Harris Teeter and get them.
Yeah, we have a Subway right beside our Harris Teeter, and I'm like, I would hate to be the Subway franchisee there. I mean, because you can choose like the McDonald's version or like Five Guys. Which one would you rather
Yeah.
have?
And like Tuesday, you're not making any subs at Subway because everyone's at Harris Teeter getting
oh yeah,
12-inch
half off,
$5 whatever sub.
$5 foot long.
Now we're gonna have to go to Subs. What's the best sub?
Half the show has been on donuts, just so we're on the same page.
Hey, well, it's either biscuits and gravy, booze, or donuts.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that. Maybe next week we'll talk about Subs.
Or maybe talk about something of substance. Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of substance, this past week I asked you to watch, and you guys watched this past week the Aziz Ansari new Netflix special called Right Now. Brian, have you? No.
I'm not.
So you guys may remember last year he got accused of sexual misconduct, took some time off, and then we didn't hear anything from him. It was crickets for a while.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm flipping through and I see a new Netflix special from Aziz. It's like, well, I'll flip this on and watch it. And I have to say, I was incredibly impressed by the show. He first starts off, and I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to give any spoilers or whatnot, but just very sincere, I think, of just talking about the situation. He goes into bits that I think were very appropriate, talking about white privilege, which I thought was really good. Talked about Alzheimer's, brought some other funny topics, made some topics funny, and then really closed the show out. What I thought was superb. And I wanted to kind of get your all's thoughts on the show. What do you guys think?
I think it was very refreshing.
That was the word
Because
you said, yeah.
because it's funny how Hollywood eats its own, type thing, where you have one guy who, I don't even know if the allegations were, did they find that actually the allegations were factual or just allegations?
I think they were just allegations. I
think
know.
it was like, because I think it was just like a difference of opinion on how it went. I think he would agree of what she said happened, but the intent was different.
See, and that's where I think in this now hypersensitive, inflated social time we are right now, this exacerbated by social media and hashtags, that not that I want to see people's lives ruined, but it's kind of interesting where you almost want to see social commentary and eat popcorn while you're watching the flames burn around Hollywood, because you have these people who do nothing but probably frown upon us in Charlotte, North Carolina, because we're not as not politically minded like they are on the left coast or up in New York. And all of a sudden when one of them steps out of line, they kind of they assassinate their own. And
you remember the whole issue that North Carolina got for the bathroom issue, because we weren't progressive enough.
Right.
There was a lot of retribution for that.
Yeah. So I admire his courage for going back, putting in front of people like that, going and doing a Netflix special. I think it's also a great avenue to get his point across too, without he has direct control over his apology, also his unapology, as far as him getting on stage and doing his bit. It's better to control it that way than versus going on social media trying to tweet out your apology, because that can totally get misconstrued. But I think he brought out several times during his special, he brought out the hypocrisy of everyone, as far as how people call out so-and-so, or the people that maybe quote unquote white privilege are probably the people that are screaming the loudest about others having white privilege. It's just the hypocrisy. It's, like I said, it's kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of that was his eyes being opened by him getting his head beaten in on social media every day.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I started, the way we watched it was, I was like, hey, have you seen this new special? If you get past the first couple minutes of, really weird, really bad camera work,
right,
like maybe it'll, I couldn't get past it at first, and we sat down and watched it, and you get past it, and it was really good. It was really funny. It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he brought out, like I said, some really good points, and made you think. Like, a lot of the comedians are like, haha, that's funny, whatever. But at the, throughout, you're just like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. And it was political, but, social context and things like that. And I thought he did a fantastic job with it. So kudos to him on that. If you are in the market for a high-quality cigar for a very reasonable price, you must check out Watchman Cigars. Watchman Cigars is a family-owned business that puts the customer first with the best customer service in the business. Watchman Cigars offers the Habano for a full, spicy flavor, the Connecticut for a mild, easy-to-smoke option, and the Maduro for a strong, powerful experience. They even do specialty blends and partner with you to provide a custom, exclusive line just for you. Watchman Cigars has all your cigar needs. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Watchman Cigars 1991, or email Leon directly at Watchman_cigars@yahoo.com. That's Watchman_cigars@yahoo.com, or check out the sponsors section of our website. All right, so we're going to do a bit that we haven't done in quite a while. It's called Dear Mojo, where I get Dear Abby questions, and I ask Mojo, what does he think about it? And then we see if they match. All right, so Dear Abby, I recently took a friend to a lunch as a thank you. We are both retired, and she knows my budget is limited. She ordered a very expensive glass of wine, 2 full meals, and the most expensive dessert on the menu, and a coffee. I ordered my meal and a glass of water. Of course, no one could consume that much food for lunch. She left with 3 bags of leftovers, and I was left with an extremely large bill and a bad taste in my mouth. Is it just me, or do you agree that this is bad manners? If I truly thought she needed this food throughout the week, there'd be no problem, but this person is wealthy. Ticked off in Texas.
Well, first off, I would call her over, have a one-on-one, and straight up throat punch her.
Is that the one we're going with?
Obviously, you do not have to have toxic friendships. Just like how, family, you have family, blood family, adopted family, chosen family. There's no, like, contractual law that says you have to have these people in your life. If they are venomous or toxic, cut them out. And obviously, she just proved her net worth of friendship with you. So, yeah, you need to excise her like a rotten tooth out of your mouth. Get rid of her.
Wow. Dear Abby says, what happens proves the adage, because people have money, that doesn't guarantee they have class. Next time she does you a favor and you want to repay her, buy her a nice card. And if you have a meal together, ask for separate checks.
If you really want to say thank you, buy her a dozen Harris Teeter donuts.
This one, Mojo, is going to be a little bit uncomfortable. Dear Abby, I'm a 54-year-old single woman who recently started dating again after 4 years of total abstinence. My 2 daughters at home, 18 and 20, both live with me. My dilemma: I'm smitten, to say the least, with an attractive, supported, and very loving man. I have invited him over and introduced him to my girls, which went well until the other night, when my 22-year-old overheard us being intimate. There's no... I shouldn't have picked this one. There's no loud noises. It's just PDA, and I have a very noisy bed, so she says. The older daughter now refuses to sleep in her room and sent me a text telling me she wants to live with her dad because she thinks it's disgusting. I'm not sure how I feel. On one hand, I think she needs to grow up. On the other side, I don't want to be the cause of her discomfort. I explained to her that I'm happy and I've been alone for so long. Perhaps you could be happy for me. My partner thinks he's jealous of our new relationship, and of course, the 18-year-old couldn't care less. Am I behaving inappropriately, or do I have the right to enjoy my home as much as they do? Getting back into it from New York.
Well, Mom, I think the first step is to call your kids in the room, and then you straight up punch them in the throat. No, well, hold on. Your kids are 18 and 20.
18 and 22.
Well, you send them an eviction notice.
Oh, there you go.
And tell them to get the hell out.
All right. Dear Abby says, I can see how your young adult daughter might be uncomfortable confronted with her mother's hello time to the musical accompaniment of a squeaking bed. Most people have a hard time accepting their parents, which I do, by the way. I still don't want to think about it. You didn't mention whether your daughter's father would welcome his daughter moving in. If he's all for it, that might be a good way to go.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Tempur-Pedic makes a memory foam mattress that has no springs, so that could be an option also.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried that on a Tempur-Pedic?
I have not, but I bet it would be kind of fun on a waterbed.
As a big man, that's not the best move to make. I'm just telling you. That Tempur-Pedic, you sink in there, ain't no moving. I'm just saying.
It's like a cold Harris Teeter donut in there. Just don't move too well.
All right, and last but not least, what does one do in the case of lending out DVDs and never seeing them again? This happened to me at the start of the year. The perpetrator, who are members of my church I attend, one is the assistant pastor. When I've asked them about my DVDs, he's been very vague about returning them. I think those who attend one's church should be trustworthy. What do you think I should do besides refuse to lend them anything else? Miffed in Missouri.
Well, I think the next time you see a youth pastor at church, I'd just walk up to him and punch him straight in the throat.
I already had that one. All
right, so that's option one. Option two is, you remember how Blockbuster used to send you a notice every 2 weeks of her late fees? Maybe go that route.
Send them a notice and a bill.
You know what? It's a DVD. This is the age of digital technology. So I just cut your losses and never, don't give them your Netflix password.
Yeah. I guarantee you can probably find them in a dollar rack somewhere around the city.
Oh, you go to Walmart, they're less than $1.
Yeah. 52 cents. They should start doing the Columbia House thing with those.
Well, plus Walmart's going to be distracted by all the kids licking ice cream, so you probably walk out with a handful of DVDs to replace your collection, so you're good there too. But I'm also, on all these, I'm still open to option 1, which is just straight throat punch.
Yeah, that might be a viable option. Your DVDs may have been lost, damaged, or loaned to someone else who didn't return them. Any of those scenarios, the person who failed to return the item should have offered to repay them. So that it doesn't reflect poorly on the borrowers. That said, you can't do anything now. Just be less generous in the future. Good job. Way to go, man. I like the
we said the same thing, but just in a different manner.
Yeah, no, I understand. All right, so one bit that Mojo wanted to do is in Memorandum. So, sir, I'm going to turn it over to you.
This week, we remember Dr. Lena Wen, or Leanna Wen, or Leanna Wen. Your term as the Planned Parenthood president lasted in a third trimester birth in New York, being aborted from your position less than 8 months. Evidently, being a doctor who took the oath to treat all people, with the exception of babies, wasn't radical enough. You wasn't inclusive enough. You wouldn't use terminology saying that trans men should have access to abortions or pregnancy. So as you sail off into the sea of racial newspeak, or radical newspeak, I hope you find your medical ethics as you reach that foreign land. Hats off to you and your new career, Dr. Lena Wen. Dr. Leanna Wen.
That was beautiful.
Not as good as last week, but she really didn't deserve a great send-off anyway.
I'd also like to say goodbye to all those wonderful Blockbuster stores you mentioned earlier.
There's only one left.
Goodbye, Blockbuster.
I think it's in Anchorage, Alaska. Or Juneau. Is it Anchorage? Yeah.
You're holding on by a string. Way to go.
They're probably still collecting all the other 3,000 Blockbusters that have shuttered. That's their late fees. That's what they're probably surviving on.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have Jeremy Congdon. He will be talking to us about whatever comes up.
I just remembered I never returned in the Heat of the Night movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, buddy.
It's probably like $3,007 and something in late fees now.
Well, you can find it at Blockbuster.
What's that?
You can single-handedly bring
it back to Anchorage. Let me return this.
All right, we'll be back. You're listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. The views and opinions of Southern Fried Philosophy are not necessarily those of our guests, sponsors, or friends of the show, but they should be. All right, we are back. You are listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. In studio, as we mentioned before, we have Jeremy Congdon. Jeremy has been a lifesaver while I was in India last year. He came on to co-host with Mojo, and he moved away. We mentioned last week we put his face on the milk carton.
Yeah.
We finally got a call back.
Amber Alert.
Let us
Chevy
know
Tahoe.
where he's at. So, Jeremy, welcome back to the show, and thanks for coming back on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to be back.
Here's my number one question.
Right.
I need to know.
All right.
How's Mama Congdon?
She's wonderful.
She's doing good?
She's wonderful.
Lots changed since we talked to you last.
Yeah.
You flew off, and we never figured out what happened to Mama C. So I'm glad to know that she's doing well.
Yeah, she's good. I bet she's still listening. I haven't heard in a little bit, but I bet she is.
Yeah. We get to see kind of who listens to the show, and that Virginia area, we still see Mama C. So, yeah. So that lets me know she's all right.
Yep.
Jeremy, so what's been going on since you left? You moved, you had a baby,
Yeah.
New house. Tell us what's going on.
Keeping a little human alive.
Yeah.
Bought an old house, fixing it up, trying to.
That sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially with a little human.
Yeah.
Trying to keep, and it's harder to keep her alive when there's construction going on in the kitchen.
Oh, that's a good point.
So,
honey, stay away from that bandsaw.
exactly. So it's been fun, man. It's been crazy, but it's been fun.
What's been for you as a dad? Like, what's been the hardest struggle that you had to deal with while trying to keep said human alive?
Hardest struggle. So she had to get tubes in her ears because she's had 7 ear infections in her first year. So she had to get tubes in her ears, and I had to be the one to take her back to get the anesthesia.
Oh, buddy.
Ooh, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough. Because, she doesn't understand what's going on. They're putting a mask on her with the funny smelling gas. Mm-hmm. She's screaming, and I have to be the one holding her. Ooh. That's something nightmares are made of. So
I can't imagine. Have you guys had to do any of that?
I just remember my newborn son, we took him to get circumcised, and just like I'd handled that part,
should be doing a memory of that.
Yeah. Oh, God. But just like, they definitely violated him, and he didn't understand what was happening. Why is this happening?
Yeah.
He's gonna have the hashtag Me Too there. Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. Do you have any horror stories of?
I'm trying to think positive thoughts like Krispy Kreme donuts right now.
That's probably fair. Jeremy, what you started a woodworking business?
Yeah, a little bit.
And that we still have your shelves on.
Awesome.
They're still hanging up, so
awesome.
that's a kudos to you.
Yeah.
But now it's trying to fix all the stuff at the house.
Yeah, for sure. We're remodeling the house, so I haven't had time to do anything for anyone else.
What's been a project that you've?
So we completely refinished the kitchen.
Oh wow!
Ripped it pretty much down to studs. There was a little sheetrock left when we got through with it, but new cabinets, new floors, fixtures, plumbing, dishwasher, everything. It was crazy. Lord. When we moved in, there was a portable dishwasher. Have you guys ever heard of this?
Yeah.
So
you have to hook it up to the sink.
You hook it up to the sink. There's 2 hoses that come off it. You hook one up to the sink, and one goes into the drain, and then you have to turn the sink on. Mm-hmm. So we had one of those.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So we sold that immediately.
Sure.
Which actually you can get quite a bit of money for them.
Really?
I got like $200 for it, which was insane to me.
And they're smaller, right? So you can theoretically put them in like an RV or something like that.
Yeah, they're on wheels.
Yeah.
And so they're really popular for RVs because they're smaller, take up less space, and you can like hide them away. Mm-hmm. Also like small apartments because you can put them in a closet, like a broom closet or something like that.
Tiny house.
Yeah, they're really big in Europe apparently because the houses are a lot smaller, areas a lot smaller.
And it's Europe.
Yeah. The wife, I went away for a week to London for work, and the first thing she said is, "You can't leave me here with a kid and no dishwasher."
Sure.
So we had to run out and get a dishwasher.
So next time you just took the kid with you.
So yeah, it's been fun. The kitchen's like 95% done.
Yeah.
That last 5% is probably going to take 4 or 5 years to do.
Sure.
So
it's kind of like I-77.
Yeah, exactly. So we got our bathroom is like a very pink, like the floors, the walls, everything is pink tile, and then above the pink tile is pink wallpaper, and then the tub is like a Carolina blue, so it's wonderful. But that's gonna wait.
That kind of predates the country blue and mauve movement. That was kind of like the lighter shade, the pastels of that.
They were trendsetters at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awful.
I hope you didn't pay more than 57 cents for this house.
The house is great. The area is great.
Nice.
We pay through the nose for it. Taxes are insane in Ohio.
Okay, so that was the question.
Yeah, count your blessings here in North Carolina because taxes are nuts.
What's the rate, or what are we looking at there?
I don't remember the numbers, but we do have our federal income tax, state income tax, regional income tax, and city income tax.
Well, hey, buddy.
And you pay city income tax where you live and where you work.
So 2.
Yeah. Some counties give you a rebate for where you work, and they'll take off some for where you live, but some don't.
I can't imagine why people from Ohio are moving south.
Yeah, it's
by
insane.
the way, North Carolina is currently closed, so we're not accepting any more Ohio applications right now.
I mean, they do pay their teachers, which they don't in North Carolina.
Well, that's
They
good.
can afford it because they're taxing everybody else down.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
There's a lot of snow that comes, so they have to do snow removal.
The roads are phenomenal.
The roads actually in Ohio are much better than the states around it. If you go up to Michigan and as soon as you cross the line, it's bad.
Michigan is. I like Michigan. You all right?
Yep. Sorry.
That's right. Michigan is, some of the roads. West Virginia is okay in certain areas just because they have a toll road.
Well, that and their gas tax is incredibly high.
Well, Ohio just increased their gas tax too, right?
It doesn't touch West Virginia.
Well, there's bears on the West Virginia Parkway. Remember, we saw a bear.
Yeah, we almost hit one. I almost hit one.
Yeah, way to go, buddy.
At the West Virginia gas station we stopped at on the way down here, there was a sign explaining why their gas prices were so high.
What was it? Just out of curiosity.
It was like $3.40.
Whoa!
What part of West Virginia are you going to?
Just straight down 77. West Virginia's insane. I'm telling you.
You go that
I get that
route
all the time.
Well, you better fill up in North Carolina.
Yeah, we always fill up in North Carolina or fill up in Ohio if we're coming back. It's crazy.
Man, I'm gonna just start carrying diesel tanks with me. Yeah,
it's nuts.
I know Ohio was pretty on par with North Carolina for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just went up on their gas tax, so that's
Michigan's much higher too. So my father-in-law's in Michigan. When he comes down, he makes sure to get gas in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, well, Michigan and Ohio is still paying for the legacy cost of all the state employees, also the auto workers, the unions, and things like that. So I can understand why their taxes are high because it's something they voted for 70 years ago.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Anything else that you miss dramatically from Charlotte to Ohio?
Oh yeah, Carolina treat. You ever had Carolina treat barbecue sauce?
Yep.
I've not.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
What is this?
It's wonderful. I wouldn't say it's like the best barbecue sauce, but it's got a special little flavor that I really like. It's a little
Carolina treat.
Yeah.
Treat.
It's
treat, right?
Yeah. TREET. If I remember.
It's almost like a mix between like a molasses style barbecue sauce and a vinegar sauce.
Yeah.
It's like a mix of uranium and Krispy Kreme.
And rattlesnake.
Yeah. When we drove down for a family vacation last week, and we stopped and got 6 bottles to take back with us.
Nice.
And I was back home for 2 days before flying back, and we've already finished a bottle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
It's so good.
It's really good, like basted on chicken, like barbecue chicken. It's almost, I almost take the flavor. If you've ever had 57 sauce, it's like a thinner, better version of that.
Yeah, it's good.
Heinz 57?
It's a real tangy kind of.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
I can't get the molasses out of like the Heinz 57. If you're saying it's
No, it's not like that. No, it's been mixed like from a traditional like red barbecue sauce, like
gotcha.
you get on ribs or something. Versus like it's not sweet,
Okay.
but it's like
By the way, it's Carolina treat. TREET.
Oh, snap.
yellow label, I believe.
Yellow label, kind of golden color. Looks like it's made by Legacy Family Foods.
It looks like a Snapple bottle almost.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I just see all the recipes.
There you go. Carolina treat.
Yeah. But yeah, barbecue is what I miss.
That's
barbecue
it.
sauce.
That's the number one.
Definitely.
Wow.
As soon as we got back, we were like, all right, getting our Harris Teeter donuts and getting
Carolina
Max
treat.
barbecue.
How many bottles are you taking back with you on this trip?
So I flew,
Right.
so I can't bring liquids on.
Oh, you can't check it?
I didn't check a bag.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Can you get a prescription, maybe?
Should.
Can you give it on Amazon?
You can. It's a little more expensive, but you can get it.
Sure.
It's worth it.
Yeah. All right.
So.
Well, the good thing is you can order the Carolina treat barbecue sauce in a 1-gallon jug.
That's what I need.
$12.95.
That's what I need.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
128 ounces of red gold.
Oh, I will tell you what though, the amount of sodium in it is insane.
It would close down a Chinese restaurant.
Oh yeah.
The good thing is you'll age like perfectly. You'll be kind of partially embalmed.
Day one and then day two, you'll look like your face age.
It is
the face app the next day.
Yeah.
Your face app. You aged in 50 years. You look the same. Like you're like Brad Pitt. Well, thanks.
I like to do some chicken and rice, like chicken and white rice, and baste it in it like he was saying on the grill, and then pour a little bit over the white rice. It's so good.
Hey, buddy.
Now I'm going to go try this stuff. Where do you find it? Harris Teeter?
Yeah.
Food Lion's got, I think.
Yeah.
It's Harris Teeter, right, maybe?
Yeah.
Huh.
So you go to Harris
local.
Teeter, grab you a
Donut and some
dozen
Carolina
of
treat.
donuts, grab you some sushi that's on special, a foot long for $5, and some Carolina treat.
Yeah.
You've got food for a week right there, my friend. Good gracious. Anything that is outstanding that you are like, man?
Yeah, there's some interesting laws in Ohio.
Okay.
So we've got one, fireworks, as we're, 40 minutes from South Carolina, and got great fireworks laws down there.
Right.
So in Ohio, they can sell fireworks, but you have to get it out of the state within 24 hours.
Now you got to kind of explain this a little
Is that like
bit more.
out the atmosphere? Does that count? Like vertically?
You can't.
That's a good
idea. You
idea.
can't shoot it off, and you gotta you can take it on your way through. You just got to get it out of the state.
Wow.
Yep.
Like, what's the reasoning behind not shooting
They
them
don't.
off?
Well, they don't like fireworks that go over 5 feet. It's kind of like Pennsylvania's got that too, where they can sell fireworks and sell whatever fireworks they want, but they can't sell to a Pennsylvania resident. So you have to show your ID, and it can't be Pennsylvania.
People getting fake IDs from Marco at a flea market to buy fireworks.
Yep. And so
those are the kind of people you want to shoot them off, too.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's one interesting one. And I had one that was interesting for Mojo here as a organ donor recipient and a motorcycle, enthusiast. Let's go with that. As well as a libertarian. So they have the no helmet laws in Ohio. So you don't have to wear a helmet. And I don't remember if Ohio has this, but I know some states have this, where if you have the no helmet law and you get into an accident, something happens, and you weren't wearing a helmet, you have to be an organ donor. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that and, with your experience.
We'll break that down in two parts. First off, the helmet laws. I'm not for those because, number one, you're doing an activity that has a high increased risk associated with it anyway, because speed, two wheels, open air against vehicles that are 2,000 pounds to 63,000 pounds, your odds aren't great, helmet or not. I think you probably could find a study out there that kind of doesn't really say that, helmets actually save that many lives.
I was going to ask if you knew the number.
I don't. See, I'm from South Carolina originally, which we have no helmet laws, except for some maybe cities have passed it where you have to have it, but we have no helmet laws. Now, granted, we have a lot of motorcycle deaths, but we also have a lot of stupidity there too.
Sure.
So, and I think that kind of can run rampant in the motorcycle community. Any riders out there kind of know that, adult beverages, two wheels, speed,
right,
combustible engine between your legs, going 90 miles an hour. It's a recipe for disaster. And it happens.
I thought you were saying that stupidity ran in that group of people.
Oh, it does.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm one of those. You get on, two wheels, like I said, engine in your crotch, basically, at high speed, horsepower. Sometimes your judgment can go out the window. Mm-hmm. So, so I'm from South Carolina. So moving from South Carolina to another state that had helmet laws was kind of odd, and I fought against it. Now I'll wear one just because,
you want to get pulled over.
It's summer, June bugs.
Oh.
Skirting off the top of your head ain't the best feeling in the world, but
so when you're riding, are you feeling the bugs hit your head?
Yeah. Like especially in the fall time when it gets a little bit crisp and you have to throw a jacket on, you'll come back home and your jacket will look like little coffee creamers have exploded all over you, like a white paintball gun. Yeah.
What about your face? Like if you're not having like a shield?
Don't keep your mouth open.
Ugh, that's gross.
Yeah, but you can get all the protein bugs in in your mouth that you want. Just keep it open.
Keto.
So I don't agree with helmet laws. I think that it should be optional. Optional. That would be like putting seatbelts on motorcycles. It's kind of
so as a libertarian, you're saying
I think it's individual liberty to choose. I think the helmet laws are stupid because they also some states require a helmet, but it doesn't have to be Department of Transportation certified. So you can wear a helmet that's quote unquote novelty. I've seen people wear football helmets. I've seen people wear hockey helmets. It doesn't necessarily specify. It just says helmets. So you have that thing. So
the thing you get at Firehouse Subs if you're a kid, you wear one of those.
It probably would work.
Okay.
Some states will enforce, some states won't. So I don't agree with helmet laws.
Yeah.
The second thing with this organ donation thing, I think you're going to start to see this probably crop up a lot in Europe, where it's already happened in France, where France is just passed or trying to pass a law that makes everyone, the moment you're born, a organ donor.
Automatically. Okay.
You have to opt out of it due to religious or personal reasons.
Okay.
On the surface, it sounds great. Okay, because here in America we have any given time 100,000 people on a waiting list. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's not a lot. Every person that dies could be a potential organ donor, but every person that dies may not be or eligible for it just because they're extenuating circumstances. People didn't get them to the hospital quick enough. They may have had an infection. There may be underlying circumstances, disease, whatever, things like that. I don't like the compulsory law where the people are automatically put on the list because, in my view, that's automatically the government has total autonomy and property rights to your body. So I don't agree with that because I think the most beautiful thing about organ donation is the voluntarism of it. People are voluntarily signing up saying, you know what? Yes, I want to help my fellow man. That's what makes organ donation so beautiful. That's what makes my story with my organ donor and his family so beautiful is because the condition of his spirit, no pun intended, heart, that he wanted to save other people's lives. You know that.
Yeah.
It is a final act of attrition as a human being to save your fellow man. You could be a lifelong turd, decide to donate an organ, and that's kind of some redemption there.
Did you see there was a commercial I saw?
Yeah.
I had no idea where it was going, but it's like just this dude, like doing every bad thing you can think of, just living his life, and he ends up spoiler alert, he dies.
Yeah. Well,
and he ends up like saving like 4 people because of his organ donation. It was I don't know where I saw it on LinkedIn or something maybe. But
no, it's actual national campaign. Advertisement. I think the guy was driving a pickup truck throwing.
Yeah.
Like
he says,
throwing a beer
even
can
an
off the
a-hole can save a life or be an organ donor.
Exactly.
Like, you don't have to be a good person to.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about organ donation. Now, my story may have not ended as great is a time sensitive manner with my life, and a lot of people that are currently waiting on the list. But, and I'm sure this probably will divide the potential transplant recipient and recipient community because I'm sure a lot of them are like, oh yeah, that makes sense, total government control. But this is where I have a problem with it is that what if the government starts to ration? Like, okay, well, maybe you're not a productive member of society, therefore you should not receive said organ. You know what I'm saying? That has happened before. We act like, oh no, that could never happen, but that has happened before. Even currently, like disability is rationed out. If you don't fall into certain criteria, or if you fall into a certain over criteria, you do not receive disability. Okay, so we do ration our services that we pay for through taxes. I think it can be rationed also. Also, I think it could become mandatory, where, like, for example, your neighbor who has the same blood type, same DNA genotype, you're a perfect match for it because we have all your DNA database because everyone is now 23andMe. We need to take half your liver.
Oh, I think
you have to run these things out to the most absurd degree. And I think it could possibly be.
Interesting.
So, we hear of forced transplant donation or forced transplant harvesting in China. There was just a recent article that came out where they marched a bunch of Chinese prisoners on death row out, automatically harvest their organs.
What?
And while they were still alive.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
While they're still alive.
Yeah, they weren't like talking and being like, "Hey, what's up? Let's play some Sudoku." But they marched people out that were on death row and said, "All right, well, we're going to, we have 1 billion people here. We need to go ahead and start, filling some of these organ orders." So these are the things where we can automatically run to. And I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Jeremy?
Yeah. No, I was, when I first got there, I'd seen some, gone through Pennsylvania or South Carolina and seen, states where there's no helmet laws, but I'd never thought of that. Then I read, I think it was a study from Michigan State was talking about it. And then I forget which state. I feel like there's a state that has that as a law, but it immediately made me think of you, and I was, definitely wanted to get your thoughts. So, I'm with you. I think it's a bad precedent to set, definitely.
Yeah, I think it has more potential downfall than it does up.
Yeah.
In the transplant community, I'm part of forums, boards, things like that, where I watch other survivors, and they always post studies, but they also post the most recent articles, and a lot of people in this community are for mandatory organ donation. At, like I said, at birth. I just don't, because we're already enslaved to the U.S. government from the moment we're birthed. That I think exponentially at $62,000 a head or whatever I think it is. Now since 2008 debt crisis. Now I'm worth minus $62,000 and my organs. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But you can opt out at this point, right? So, like in Europe, you can say.
But how many people? Now, hold on. Let's kind of run this out to the most absurd thing. Now, we say that people are too stupid to go register to vote. Voter ID laws.
Okay. I don't think it's as stupid. I just think that
that's what the
say, like,
that's what the
they
implication
don't have the
is.
opportunity to.
I'm not exactly sure what the opportunity is, but what if they don't have the opportunity to go opt out?
Yeah.
If someone, if blocks of communities are too stupid to go register to vote, that's what we're saying. And Maj has said this. Derek Grayson has said this. I'm not the only one saying this. That we're implying that these blocked group of people cannot go register, even though they may have registered for benefits for the state, or they may have an ID to go to the ABC package store, or they may have an ID to register their kid to school, but they're too stupid to register to vote. Okay. What if they're too stupid to take themselves off the organ donation list?
But I think that you would have to say, well, it's too bad, so sad. You didn't do it. So
yeah, but what about the family? Family didn't know.
And
what I'm saying? This is one of those things where we can run it out.
That could be tricky, yeah, because the family could say, well, we didn't want to do that.
We didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of
that part's true. I'll give you that. Yeah.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of pitfalls that could happen to something like this.
Yeah. So, weird laws in Ohio.
Yeah.
That just like a morbid trail.
Yeah.
So anything else going on in Ohio that you want to touch base on?
Just the food scene in Ohio is pretty solid.
All right.
So you've been to Ohio, you said?
I'm in Cincinnati all the time, which is not Cleveland.
Right.
But
right.
I'm in Cincinnati area all the time.
I think it's what's his name? Michael Simon is from Cleveland.
Yep.
So he's got a bunch of restaurants in there. So we've hit a couple of those. But we'll get out some more.
Are they good, or are they just subpar? Or are they?
They're really good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, really
It's good to hear.
Yeah. I was I think I was telling you before, we had the best wings I've ever had.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Without the Carolina treat on it.
Without Carolina treat.
Now, have you had wings with Carolina treat on it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you've made
Now,
those yourself.
is this wings?
I've had wings with Carolina treat in the last couple days.
Now,
Carter's going today.
is this wing spot called Harris Teeter?
It is not. It is not. It's called Greenhouse Tavern in Cleveland. If you ever are out there,
downtown.
Yep. And
Gotcha.
the wings, like, you can pick them up and the meat falls off the bone. It is so good.
So,
great.
listeners, if you're in the Cleveland area, go by and just go to Greenhouse and say Jeremy Congdon said to come by.
I heard it live on the Southern Fried Philosophy podcast.
And if I mention SFP, I get 10% off.
Well, let's be a little bit generous. If you go there, when you hear this, just tell them you heard it on SFP. 100% off. 100. Just tell them that.
Of this podcast.
But yeah, no, it's been good. The winter is tough. The winter is about as tough as the summer is tough here.
What's the average snowfall?
So we didn't get a ton of snowfall this year.
Well, because of global warming. So you're
exactly.
Good.
Yeah. But it was like when it did snow, it stayed for a while. And it's just like bone chilling cold.
Frigid.
Yeah, and we're like about a half mile from the lake, and so that doesn't help either.
Sure.
If you want to call it a lake,
right.
I call it a mud puddle, the great mud puddle. But no, it's very cold. So
So would you rather being southern heat or northern
Southern
cold?
heat every time.
Okay,
You can jump in a
see?
pool and get rid of southern heat.
True that. True
That's
that.
true.
And be happy. You can,
Yeah,
I agree with
that's
you.
true.
Plus, you don't have to shovel heat.
exactly.
That's true.
Exactly. Everyone says, like, oh, you can put more clothes on. You can put more clothes on. But I don't want to be walking around like the Michelin Man.
or Ralphie from Christmas Story.
yeah, exactly. I'd rather be in a pool.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah.
Well, all right, so here's another one of my big questions I have. How much do you get to see University of Florida sports? Are you getting the SEC network up there? Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
a problem?
Oh, yeah. I got the
Okay.
SEC network.
Okay.
So I'm actually closer to University of Kentucky than I
Right.
was, and they're going to be in Florida this year, so I might get down for a game.
Nice.
But getting to Gainesville will be much more tough.
Sure.
Yeah.
You actually had a podcast about Florida sports
I did.
for a quick minute.
Yeah, 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting to Gainesville is going to be tough.
Yeah.
It's definitely a flight now. It was 8 hours from here.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be from Cleveland.
So Kentucky's playing Florida at Florida?
No, at Kentucky
At
this
Kentucky,
year.
so you're going to try to make
Yeah, my
that-
nephew's going to Kentucky.
Oh,
Yeah, I tried talking him out of it, but
way to go, sir. Can he get me student tickets to the basketball games? Because I would pay dearly for that.
I don't know about basketball games, but I did get a link the other day
Football's
for football
wide
games.
open.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done, sir. Yeah.
So he is going to take a bourbon making class.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool. I actually thought about doing that class. You can do it online.
Okay.
I'm thinking about maybe picking it up next fall. So we'll see.
Wow.
Yeah.
should do
it'd be
that.
fun. It would be fun.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean, it's things having to be in Big Ten country, and
Yeah.
with, Ohio State fans are awful, Michigan fans
They
are
are
awful.
They're
and
awful.
That's all we have. So
You clearly miss the SEC. Yeah.
yeah,
I can feel your pain.
yeah. I mean, even here, I didn't like. I was like, I want to be more in SEC country.
Sure. Yeah.
Gainesville, it's the heart of SEC country.
Well,
Is it? I thought Alabama was.
it's definitely different when you move out and you're not part of that world anymore. So
Yeah, I'm the only one flying the blue and orange up there.
Are you?
So yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe we can connect. We can maybe use some of our friends at bowljet.com to get us some tickets to the Kentucky Florida game.
For
That'd
sure.
be fun.
That would be.
Yeah.
Probably giving them away for free.
Probably.
Kentucky
know,
looked
man.
decent last year.
I know.
We won
Gotta give them a
like
hard time.
10 games.
Beat Florida finally after 31 years.
I'm still
Just
blown
saying.
away by that.
Just saying.
I wanted to call and rub it in, but I was like,
You wouldn't have been able to hear it.
yeah, I figured that would be the case.
For all of our bourbon and beer listeners, is there any great breweries or
There's a
distilleries up
ton.
there?
It's like every other city. There's a million.
Any favorites? Any ones that have been around for a while?
Great Lakes Brewing.
Okay.
is
They're
right there.
available
Oh, yeah.
down here.
Yeah, they're a big one here, available here. There's 1,000 of them. Mostly beer. I haven't seen many like distilleries or anything
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
I guess we need to. Maybe we can capitalize in the Cleveland market for distillery.
Maybe.
hey, if
You
it
know,
keeps you warm during the winter, I think
That's
anyone
what
will try it.
No doubt. No doubt. Any last parting words of wisdom for our listeners, Jeremy?
Enjoy your barbecue while you can, because one day you might have to move to Ohio and it might be gone.
Why does anyone move to Ohio?
Free daycare.
Oh,
My
that's
mother-in-law
a good one.
lives there, and so she watches the kid.
We
You
could have
could've done
started a GoFundMe account here for you.
I mean, I'm
Do you know
not
how
saying,
expensive daycare is?
I'm not saying we single-handedly helped Jared Lorenzen get
yeah,
$82,000.
But we were a part of it.
We were part.
And we could have been a part of your childhood daycare
Yeah.
thing down
Yeah.
here too.
Daycare is expensive.
All right.
Luckily, knock on wood, my kids have never had to go to daycare.
Yeah.
It's just going to be us.
Of course, that's the reason why we're broke too. But
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my coworkers, his kid went to elementary school, and he walked in the next day with a brand new cell phone, new laptop, all this stuff, and I'm like, "Hey, man, like, what's going on? You get a raise? What's going on?" He's like, "Nah, kid went to elementary school, don't have to pay daycare anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Basically, have a whole mortgage back."
what does daycare cost now up there?
So we do $80 a day.
Oh, jeez.
Good night.
5 days a week?
Oh, she's 5 days a week now.
Does she have a PhD by when she's 8? I mean, holy.
And Mama's a teacher, right?
No, she actually switched now. She's
Oh.
she gets paid now.
What does that mean? She's a janitor or
No,
like a union
she
janitor?
sells ebooks, and so
I'm so confused.
she switched out of teaching and sells ebooks to schools, and so she actually gets a paycheck now rather than before when she was a teacher and got paid in school supplies.
All right.
and put all their kids in daycare, they would have made an extra $200 a month.
Yeah.
Like their whole paycheck. And you can call that gas to and from work almost. Every penny of it. So mom's working for daycare.
Just to pay daycare, yeah.
Why not just stay home with the kids?
No, that's 100%
that's-
accurate. Yeah.
Well, that's one reason why I worked out of my house for so long.
Yeah.
I mean, for the first, I really didn't start actually physically going to a job till Larkin was in first grade or kindergarten. Sorry,
Yeah.
so K5. So the first 5 years of her life, she and I were, peanut butter jelly every day.
Yeah.
I mean, we love our daycare. Miss Martha, if you're listening, we love you. You're worth every penny.
There you go, Miss Martha.
Well, I'm saying, you know what, $80 a day, which, Monday when you go drop your kid off, when you get back in town, I'd walk straight up to her and punch her in the throat. I'm going to tell you right now, $80 a day.
We did find a pretty great daycare, though. So they do the $80 a day. So it's hourly, and they've got an hourly rate until you get to the day rate, and then it's $80 a day. And then they've got a day rate until you get to 5 days in a week, and then you pay a week rate.
So it's
What's
a lot
the,
like...
what's
very
the week
flexible.
rate? Like an ankle or a wrist? Or,
It's the equivalent of 4 days, so you get 1 day free, basically.
So
buy 5, get 1 free.
But
I
it's
think I have that same...
Is there a punch card for that?
But there's most daycares are you pay for 5 days whether you use it or not.
Yeah, that's true.
And whether you use 8 hours or not, or whether there's a vacation day or not. When we came down here for vacation last week, we didn't have her in daycare for 5 days. I was rich. Yeah, so we had her at grandma's for 3 days a week for the first year. So we were saving a lot of money.
So
I'll welcome the new sponsor. We have Mojo and Biggins Daycare now starting. Applications being accepted.
Yeah.
We're only $75 a day.
and we're not in charge of their liver.
There you
or
go.
ours. So, yeah, that's crazy. Well,
Yeah. So
glad you got free
there's
daycare. I'm glad
trade-offs.
that's working out
There's
well.
trade-offs. Yeah. I get to come back here for work every once in a while, so
That's
that's
cool.
why I'm in town now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're in Cleveland.
Oh, trust me, yeah, I know.
So you're like 1 week a year you get to come down south. So if you got 51 weeks that you spend in Cleveland.
And I come down here when it's 98 degrees.
Yeah,
Way
there
to
you
go.
go.
That was a smart choice there. Wow. Well, Jeremy, it's definitely been good to see you.
Yeah, man.
Good to
It's
catch
good to
up.
be back. Get the old band back together.
Yeah.
I like it.
There
Yeah.
you go. Great.
Well, we'll have to have you back sometime soon. Next time next year.
Next year when you come
decide
down.
to show up. So, awesome.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming in, man.
Yeah, thanks for
Please go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com and also our Facebook page at Southern Fried Philosophy. Go to Apple Podcast or iTunes. I still call iTunes. You cannot receive us on your record player or radio station yet, but maybe
One of
one
these
day.
days.
Spotify, iHeart, Pocket Cast, pretty much anywhere that you would go download a podcast, you probably can find us there. Just search Southern Fried Philosophy. Give us a review, a rating. Subscribe is the most important thing. That way you can get our episodes automatically uploaded by producer Brian every week into your inbox there on your podcast maker thing. Go to the SFP at Twitter. Where else we got? Instagram. We got the Patreon link at patreon.com/SFP radio. And as I've been doing every week, please go to your local DMV. You can sign up to be an organ donor. The organ donation's a vital part of the reason why I'm here. I've been doing the show now for 107 episodes with my best friend, Buddy, here, so we can continue that. So, yeah, just donate live. You probably can check out your local live share. Shout out to my donor's mother, Lisa. Thank you for listening every week, and thank you for your continued encouragement to keep doing the show, and maybe Biggin will let me be unleashed one day. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and you can also check us out at States Vegas Radio. If you go to their website, you can listen to us live 4 o'clock on Friday and 6 o'clock on Monday. You can listen to us there. We'd appreciate you downloading their app. And as always, keep looking up.